Hello guys, my name is Frank. I'm your audio guy. I'm your audio communication online expert. In the previous series, I had shown you how to get your mix to sound as good as what you mix on your multi-track, and being able to replicate some of the techniques that I use with my DAW on the live mix. And I realized that a lot of churches do not have the liberty of having two mixers or three mixers that do the broadcast stage mix and the front of house mix. Some of them just have just one board that does everything. So I'm going to show you what you can do to get your broadcaster sound as good as what you hear in the main house. So let me show you some of the tricks that I use. Okay, right here is in the previous section we were working with a particular track which is playing at the background here. That's the kick, the snare drum, drums, right? The kick, snare drum, hi hat, drum, drum, drum. So what I use a lot of times, I use the metrics to send to the broadcast mix. So the metrics has the flexibility of having an EQ to it. The EQ allows me to maybe make it more crispy, make it more defined, so that if you're playing with a laptop, it still sounds good. If you're playing with your mobile device, it still sounds good. If you're playing with any other device, it sounds good. I also use a lot of references. This is one of my references when I'm done mixing one. This is also one of my reference, a very good reference right here, and then the studio monitors. My mix, which is on the main, I send the main to the metrics, which is here. If you notice, I have done my metrics as linked, so as I can have it as left and right. The beautiful thing of doing it like this is so that the imaging that I do in the front of house can also be replicated in the broadcast mix. So this is my imaging I have done left and right here. I send the same volume, the volume levels. If you see it right here, it goes up. This is the volume level of the main that I want in the broadcast. So once I'm able to get to an appreciable volume, I can also apply a compressor on it so that I can maintain a particular volume level, which is independent of the amount of volume that I drive in my mains, so that I can still have a balanced level instead of having it go too high or beginning to blast on the other side because of too much dB levels on my broadcast. So I apply a compressor on it, I apply an EQ on, and also there's one thing that I also do. I usually bring a reverb or a hall effect that allows for the listener on the other side. I try to simulate the same environment where the music is being played. So what I do is I bring in an effect to this channel. So what I have done is I brought a vintage room to this channel. So there's a vintage effect on this channel. Let me show you how to get it there. So what I do is I go to the vintage right here, right? That is vintage, and then I do insert on it. Okay, why it's still doing like this is because I had done the insert already to matrix 1 and matrix 2. Okay, if you notice right here, the insert has been inserted, but let me show you something. It's now being inserted to matrix 1 and matrix 2. So this guy goes now to the insert. Let's take it out and let me take you back to how I did it. Let's take it away from here. 2, right? That is matrix 1, matrix 2, and then insert it. It's now been inserted to matrix 1, matrix 2. So I go to matrix 1, matrix 2. You notice there's an insert here. There's an insert here. Have you seen that? You see that they've been inserted to that channel. Okay. So what I do with that is to be able to create the same room where the mix being done. Okay, it might not be exactly the same room, but it might just give the listener on the other side a feel of the room. It's very subtle, so the ear can hear it very subtly. So this is what it is. I take open. Let me open. That's the key. If you check, you can see the levels going into. If you check, you can see the levels going into the matrix mix. That's the levels going into the matrix mix. If you see, if I pull this up, you will notice that the LED also goes up to. You see it? So that's the levels going there. Okay, then you have to go to the vintage room, put the volume level of the effects that you want in the broadcast. So I go to the vintage room. So right here, these are the levels of what is going in. I dial it down so that it's very subtle. If it's too much, it's going to also clash with the effect that you have running on your BGVs. You understand? So I dial it down a bit so it doesn't sound too much of a hall or reverb on the broadcast, right? So that's what I do. I hope with this I've been able to give you some tips that can allow you get your broadcast sounding as good as. The subsequent one will be on the broadcast side, that is on vmix or any of those interfaces that allows you to connect to the internet and being able to play on the internet. So I'm going to show you how to get those other sites sounding good.